Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Project Architect. And wow, is the base looking good. And you might be able to tell that I'm trying something a little bit different today. I'm actually in ultra wide mode. Nah, just kidding. It's just a picture. Josh dropped by the new base and decided to take a little photo of it. And he left this as a little bit of a souvenir. And by the way, that's actually from the camera mod, which we might be able to take a look at that a little bit later on. Hey you. Yeah, you. Are you part of the 75% of people not subscribed? That's pretty cringe, bro. Hit the subscribe button. Do it. Do it now. In between episodes, I got most everything moved over to the new base. I also decided to make a new weapon. I actually made a Enderium cleaver and upgraded it to pretty good. It has attack damage of 23, so I just basically filled it with quartz. I used all of the extra modifiers that you can get, and yeah, so that should be pretty good. So here's the new base. I added a few things here and there. I added this dock. It's actually made with the cherry wood found in the local area. And I made a little bit of a paddle system thing here. It's really small, so yeah, I wish I could do a little bit better on that. Anyway, so pretty much everything is in here now. We have all of our machines that we've made in the past lined up on the walls, the workbenches that we made in the previous episode, our XP shower drain here. This is pretty cool. It just pulls the XP out of an XP drain, puts it all the way at the top, and then we can just turn this on and get some more XP. On the second floor, there isn't much. And same with the third. This is actually going to be my bedroom, but I'm going to try to decorate that a little bit more later on. So like I said in the previous episode, today I want to get started on bigger reactors. Having power in the base is going to be super nice, because currently we aren't actually generating power. I took down all of the Stirling engines that we had before. So we're basically running on no power at the moment. So I'm gonna change that. So we're gonna need a few things. First thing we're gonna need is a... where is it at? The terminal that will allow us to access the reactor. I don't think we're gonna need redstone ports. We should use some glass. Definitely need fuel rods. The coolant, I believe, is only for liquid coolant, so we're not going to need that for now. Some control rods, and I actually plan on making a computer program for this, or borrowing somebody else's actually. So I'll be adding that, and of course the casings and access points. Oh, and of course a power tap. So the recipe for most of this stuff is pretty simple actually. We're just going to need some reactor casings, which are just made from iron, uranium, and graphite. I have iron and uranium, but I haven't actually made graphite yet. And graphite is actually just made from coal. And here we go. And I'm just going to add these to the system. That way we can just pull out as many as we need. And we're running pretty low on EMC, so hopefully we can solve that in the next few episodes. So we have some casings now. We're just going to need to make the terminal. Just requires a bit of uranium, a diamond, and I believe it was redstone. There we go. Next up, let's make the control rods. Okay, so we're gonna need... I should probably just pull out a good bit of uranium. There's the control rods, and all of this stuff is EMCable, so we'll just add that to the system to make it a little bit easier. Next up is the rods themselves, and I need some iron for that. There we go. Some of the reactor glass. Computer port is just gold and a repeater. And there is our computer port. I hadn't actually made a repeater yet, so I had to make that really quick. And finally, we need the reactor access port, which is just a piston and a chest. There we go. So that's everything that we need. And I'm actually just going to quickly add everything to the system. And if you see Josh talking in the background, that's I believe he's trying to set up a portal into the end. So in this episode, or maybe the next, we might be going to fight the end dragon. Alright, so I've just prepared a spot for the reactor to go. And we're going to go with a 9x9. That should be pretty good for us to start off with. Probably a bit overkill, but pretty soon we're going to be using RF dimensions to try to find some high EMC materials. So we're going to need quite a bit of RF. Alright, so we have a good framework now. I decided to go for 9x9x9. So it is pretty big. I'm going to make a building around this later on. I can't remember if I mentioned that already. But for now, I'm just going to place the terminal and the access port just kind of randomly here. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of it with the glass. So I managed to make the front bit of the reactor, but unfortunately I'm pretty much out of EMC. I've never seen it that low, so I'm gonna have to do some a little bit of grinding and then I'll come right back. Alright, so I just finished AFKing a little bit, and I finished the glass on the sides. Next I want to get our control rods in place. Now there's a few contradicting theories on what the best placement is for your control rods. Personally, I'm not really sure exactly what is the best. But I like to do sort of a crisscross pattern. And they all I really know is that the control rod shouldn't be touching the glass. We're gonna have coolant touching all four of the sides. So what I'm going to do is just space these out a little bit, something like that. And then every other one, we can put one there. So like I said, they shouldn't touch the glass, so one wouldn't go here. But one would go here, here, and here, and so on. And I'm just using some cobblestone right now to fill in the gaps because, yeah, I'm already out of EMC again. This is going to be super expensive, especially because I actually want to use Enderium for the coolant. Each block of Enderium costs 53,000 EMC. And yeah, it's gonna be expensive. So the fuel rods are now going into place. Alright, all of the rods are in place now, and next I want to get started on making some Enderium. Enderium is a pretty easy recipe. It just requires some lead, diamonds, and ender pearls. There we go. And now we just need to smelt this up. Fortunately, Enderium has an EMC value, so all we need to do is add it to our system and pull out as many as we can. We're just shy of the 9 that's needed for Enderium blocks, so I'm probably going to have to go and AFK once more. Alright, so for now, I think I'm going to wait on the Enderium. It should run pretty fine without it. It may overheat a little bit, but I'm not worried about it exploding or anything like that. So this should be the last thing that we need to build the reactor. And there we go. For now, I actually want to get a hopper. Ooh, a hopper. And some uranium. Unfortunately, we can't put the items directly in, but if we have a hopper, it should go in just fine. We should see all of the rods filling up with the uranium. That really wasn't a lot, was it? And I had actually forgot to make the power tap, so that's on there now with a flux plug connected to our network. So I just want to do a really quick test run of this. Oh yeah, it gets really hot immediately. But we are generating 10,000, almost 12,000, almost 13,000 RF per tick, which is quite a lot. Alright, so I just added a few blocks of Enderium and it's already started to lower the amount of temperature that it increases by, so yeah, that's definitely going to be worth it to add. But for now, I think I want to get started on a little bit of RF dimensions. Alright, in order to get started with RF tools dimensions, we're going to need a dimension builder. I think we're going to need a dimension editor. We're going to need a few empty dimension tabs. Maybe an inscriber, a dimlet workbench, and a few other things. We'll also need a few matter transmitters and some matter receivers, a dialing device, and that should be everything to get started at least. There is the dimension builder. It's pretty expensive, but not too bad overall. The dialing device, the matter transmitter, the matter receiver, and finally the dimension builder. And before you get too far into this mod, I would highly recommend chunk loading your base. If you're not chunk loaded, you're just gonna die in the dimension that you create. Alright, I had to double check my single player world. I kind of forgot a few things here. So I actually need an inscriber as well, and one of these charged porters. Also, it's probably a good idea to chunk load your power supply. There is the charged porter, and we're also going to have to give this energy as well. And for some reason the fur crafting tables don't work with this, so I'm going to have to go and find some regular oak. Actually, never mind, I obviously have oak in my system already. So I'll just add that and let's pull out another one. And that should be the inscriber. There we go. That should be everything that we're going to need. Alright, so make sure you charge your charged porter before you go dimension hopping. Let's see here. The next thing we need to do is access our inscriber. We're going to need the next thing we'll need is an empty dimension tab. And that will actually allow us to create a new dimension. And we have to give it a name. I'm just going to call this first one random here, I guess. and store and extract. Nope, don't extract. Something happened to it. Store, here we go. The dimension already exists. Yeah, so this is probably the one Josh already created. That's perfectly fine though. Next up, we need to put it in here and make sure that it gets power. It's currently at 23 RF per tick. So that's going. Okay, so it looks like the name of this one is Yes. Transmitter blocked. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to make these in the ground. That's no problem. I'm not sure if I'm gonna need to... Yeah, I'll probably have to move that down as well. Not too big of a deal. Gonna need power for this guy as well. Hopefully we have enough RF for that, which we don't. Alright, we should just have to dial it now. And we should see a beam. That's perfect. Make sure to shift right click your receiver with your charge porter. And, oh geez, let's hope this doesn't fail. Nice. So this one has already been generated, but we can definitely take a look around. There's a temple thing over here. This is where you should find other dimlets. So there's some digit ones, some block ones. Cool. So I think I'm just gonna fly around for a bit and try to pick up as many dimlets as we can. While I'm just flying around for a bit, I kind of wanted to explain again how this mod can be useful. So basically what we're doing is running around picking up dimlets. The dimlets will allow us to create additional dimensions and customize those dimensions to whatever we want. So for example, this one is like taiga and like beach or something like that. So we can create biomes like this, but we can also generate certain types of resources. For example, we could have a dimension filled with netherite blocks. So basically, that was that's the intention of going through this mod. Josh is also going through the mod at the same time. Looks like he might have uncovered something good there. Yeah, the objective is just to go around finding these buildings and just going in and seeing the see if there's any dimlets that can be useful to you. The best one you can get is probably the netherite one, maybe Enderium, maybe like cobalt or manilium, something like that. The high level materials is what you're really after. Alright, so I think I've explored a good chunk of this dimension. There's probably a few things I missed here and there, like the hut right in front of my face. But yeah, so just gonna grab this. And Midlands, that's actually a really good one as well. If you're ever just stuck in one of these dimensions, or if you're done sort of exploring it, you can just open up your charge porter and assuming that you linked it to your receiver, you should just have to right click and there you go, you're back at your base. But I think we're gonna end things there for today. In between episodes, I think I'm gonna try to make a few more dimensions, try to get as many dimlets as we can, and sort of see how far into the mod we can progress. So far, we've just taken a pretty basic look at this mod, so hopefully in the next one we can sort of expand upon that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.